Welcome to episode 8 of All American Life Goes On, and it really does go on, even when your mom is an escort, even when you have a funeral that you've just went to, and even when Tyrone is after you. We're going to talk all about it on this week's After Show. Stay tuned.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Thank you guys for your endless support. I really appreciate it. That was a great cold open right there. We got to get the fans on board with this. With this season, with this episode, there was so much that went on. It was juicy. I felt like I was reading some TMZ for a little bit. Yeah, it definitely felt that way. So we are going to go over every single one of these characters for the most part, because in this episode, it really did focus on a ton of characters, unlike last week's, which really just focused on the two different families and the dynamic. So we're going to talk about that, and then we do have our very special segment that I always look forward to called MVP, which Zakiyyah will be spearheading here. But with that being said, I'm your host, Mina Naidine, and to my left we have Zakiyyah, who always comes up with the best MVPs, and is my MVP right here.
Oh, so cute.
As are the rest of you.
I loved it.
I'm sorry.
Totally
fine.
I love that.
Totally fine.
Sierra is over here talking sports behind the scenes, and she does know a lot about sports, and Kris knows a lot too. She was just fine over here all the time. She was just going off about sports, and I knew nothing about this conversation. I was just on the outside looking in. But we're very excited to talk all things All-American today. What were your overall thoughts of this crazy episode?
Woo, I guess I'll start. Overall, it was so much to grasp this episode. We revealed so many secrets I think we were all anticipating or waiting to see. I think my biggest wow or shock moment was the escort part. I wasn't necessarily disappointed, but it was just something that was totally left field. I didn't see that coming. Yeah, so Asher Mom being an escort, you guys hit me like a ton of bricks.
Exactly.
Crazy.
My overall thoughts, the last few episodes have just been so intense. Like, we've been crying, we haven't been able to breathe, and it was just nice to, like, get some answers, be calm, still enjoy the episode, and not feel, like, overwhelmed with all of these emotions, and just have, like, an episode that we love that was not too much.
Yeah.
Exactly. It definitely started off very happy with that funeral scene, and
You said happy?
Yeah. No, because
She was being sarcastic, right?
you said that last week was very emotional, and I'm just thinking about how this week is like funeral scene. Then we find out like tragic things about why the mother wasn't in Asher's life for years and years and years.
But we
and
were
then
like
we find out
sobbing last week. Like,
we
we
don't
were
know if
not
she's gonna
okay.
kill herself or not. There was so much that happened, and
That
it was
is true.
very tense emotions here too. There's never
intense.
I don't think there's ever been just like a genuinely happy episode.
No, I mean, the last two
Season
episodes.
one.
Oh, Lord. I mean, the last two episodes definitely have me shocked. That is. The endings always have me shocked. Like, last episode was a shocker. The end of this episode was a shocker. Like, what? It really didn't make. We'll get into that.
What
right?
would you say was your overall feeling? If you could summarize your feeling in one word, Kris, how did you feel at the end of all of this today?
Upset.
Upset. Okay. We'll dig into that. We'll definitely dig into that.
Definitely.
But before we do, I do want to talk about Asher and his mom and that whole weird situation where the mom talks to Olivia first before her own son.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense. But afterwards, she does have a sit down with her son where she comes clean and says, I was an escort, and your father blackmailed me and said, if I ever said this, that if I ever, stayed in your life, that he would tell you that I'm an escort, so then he told me not to be in your life. It was a lot of drama. It was really crazy. I kept wondering, what happened? Was he abusive? What happened? And then we find out that he blackmailed her, which is so crazy because he met her through the very thing that she did, but there's such a double standard for women, right?
Yeah, that was crazy to me too.
Yeah.
I feel like that could have ruined his life too. I feel like
Ruined his life.
Well, if
my God.
if he wanted to ruin her life with that secret, she could have easily ruined his life with that secret. Because no man wants it out that they use an escort service. you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's like the sugar daddy situation. No, seriously.
Sugar baby.
Like, no one gets mad at the sugar daddy. They just like get mad at the sugar baby.
They shame the sugar
This
babies.
is just like the conversations Zakiyyah and I had behind the scenes about Jordan Woods and Tristan Thompson and how Jordan Woods got all the heat.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Tristan Thompson got way less flack than Jordan Woods. So, I mean, I do understand that in the real world, I do think women bear the bigger brunt of these things and they get slut-shamed for things that men participate in. So it sucks, but I can't believe that this was the secret. I don't know why I thought it would be something else.
Yeah. Also, I feel like this is probably something that he has like held over her head before this situation. Like you can tell it's something that he's very insecure about and he's projecting onto her. And it really just made me wonder like what their marriage was like. If this was something that he clearly cared about a lot. This is how he met this woman. It's like, were you blackmailing her into other things whenever you were with her? Like, why did it get to the point that y'all are getting divorced in the first place? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely felt that, and I didn't like that because I think for the first 2 seasons, at least until this point, we've seen the dad portrayed in a very empathetic light where he suffers with alcoholism, addiction.
Oh, the dad's a mess.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I feel like we've kind of like empathized with him despite it all because they've kind of tried to humanize him. But with the mom, we never really saw what her character arc was or what her story was until we found out that there was a secret, and now we can kind of understand her a little better. So I'm curious to know what ends up happening there.
Yeah, he was just, the way like whenever it came to the table that basically he was blackmailing her, he was like, well, I did.
And he still didn't admit it. He just sat back and let her say everything.
But exactly to your point, like, he's an alcoholic, he's clearly manipulative, like, he's gone through all of these things, like, everyone's imperfect, and then for him to, like, look at her like she's imperfect, knowing all the things that he has struggled with, is just so frustrating to me.
He's controlling, which is a domestic, like, abuse, even if it's mentally.
Yeah.
It's very true. I feel like people always focus on the physical aspects of abuse when a lot of it is psychological. But, you know, he's not the only person who is lying about things and blackmailing and being manipulative, because Jordan's baby mama isn't really his baby mama.
No.
We really find out the truth about that situation, and I did not see this coming at all. We find out after a lot of prep work on Jordan's end, after he puts together, well, I guess Olivia put together the little crib for her, for the child that's on its way, the baby that's on its way, that she just lied because she wanted Jordan to be the father and step up to the plate. Were you guys expecting this at all?
I wasn't expecting it. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. I think I was more so upset because even though I wanted to understand where she was coming from, my thought was, how long were you going to continue with this lie?
Oh, that gives me a pit in my stomach.
18 years. Yes.
18 years.
18 years, you find out it was yours.
Cue Kanye music right now. Sorry, copyright, guys. We can't do that here. But it really is. It's just crazy to think about. Like, I think, Sierra, you were the one who said that you knew she was crazy. Like, you knew that there was something there.
This is what happened. Whenever they were at the party and, like, everyone found out that he was hooking up with all of these girls and they were all in the same room, she was the one that was spearheading, like, oh, we're going to get him back. Like, she was like, oh, no, we're not going to let him get away with this. And so, we also talked about this, too. I had this feeling that I don't know what was going to happen, but he was just not going to be a dad in the show. Like, I just had this gut feeling it wasn't going to happen. And, like, she was crazy from the beginning. Like, we knew that, which is sad.
What's her sign? I don't think you've thought about this enough, but...
Don't say Aries. I feel like you're going to... Okay. Gemini.
I want to say she's a Gemini.
I can see that.
Or I kind of want to say a Scorpio.
Okay.
Like, I think we saw her on... Scorpios are usually kind of, like, intense and, like, they kind of have their lives together, but, like, not really, and they're, like, really open about it. But I think we saw her on, like, the other side of it, like, realizing her flaws and, like, realizing where she messed up. I'm going to say Gemini or Scorpio. What do you think, Mina?
I don't know. I would just say Gemini because she flip-flopped on what she wanted.
Yeah.
She flipped the next day.
But the thing is with Geminis, they are good people and they flip-flop.
Yeah.
But her intention What? Like, the ends kind of justified the means because it was for her child.
It was
she didn't have the worst.
Crazy.
I wouldn't have
If
done
you
it.
really
but
break it down, she was like, I just want my child to have the best life possible,
Totally.
and his actual dad isn't the best influence, so I'm gonna go after Billy Baker's son, star quarterback, whatever.
Jordan.
I don't know what he plays. I don't know about football. But I do love this show because I
Yeah.
don't feel like it's just about football. I feel like it's about what football allows the show to explore.
Yes,
Literally, that's what I feel like it's about.
Yeah, it looks like Nat, who's always in the chat, thank you. He says that for sure Gemini as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. I have nothing against Geminis, by the way.
I love Geminis.
Kanye, Gemini, by the way.
Best friends of Gemini.
That might not be the best example, but
Not at all.
Not the best
So-
example, but let's talk Coop and Patience, because
Okay.
Patience has been very, very patient with Coop. She has known for a while now, I guess in the episode, that Coop was not telling her about this record deal and about how Layla's dad really wanted to work with her because he loved her voice. And she's kind of like waiting for Coop to reveal this, and then she finally confronts her and says, when were you planning on telling me? You're just gonna hide this from me? I was like, okay, a breakup's about to happen. I don't know how the breakup didn't happen. I'm still shocked by that.
I know.
Right.
Coop
But-
saved it at the end.
But-
She
so
sang
all you
her-
have to do is sing a song or like
Okay.
rap a song, and then okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
Fine.
I think
Do
it
it
was
with me,
like,
baby.
yeah, like Coop just needed to realize it wasn't a competition. It's like just because she's growing doesn't mean that you're not growing. And I think she kind of let her guard down, and that's all Patience wanted to see from her. Like, she was like, I literally cannot sing this song without you. You know what I mean? I think Patience like saw that for what it was and was like, okay, we can move past it. If Coop would have just like kept acting how she was acting, Patience would have had to keep it moving.
Patience would have got impatient.
That
But-
wouldn't have worked for me, honey.
But
Probably not me either, but they're like 16, so.
Yeah.
Right. I think this is a happy moment you're speaking of
Yeah.
in this show where we actually saw that CW moment, teenage drama,
Yeah, exactly.
love story moment where they're like, oh, let's reunite and dance on the dance floor. And we're like, yeah, this is
Yeah, it's
our
all
song.
good.
And I think Patience doesn't necessarily want to be a star, even though I think she should, but I think
She's great.
Yeah, she's amazing. But I think she more wants it for Coop, and she's just, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. She's not invested.
I think that's one of those things where it's like, yes, even if she's not necessarily passionate about singing right now, this can translate into like any other aspect of their relationship. Like, what are you going to hide from me that could be like helping my personal growth?
No,
you know what I mean?
seriously, that's so
Like,
selfish.
that's literally like whenever I was watching the whole scene, I was like, oh, this is like eerie because it's like you have no idea where else this could like turn into a reality in your relationship. This might not be where it actually matters, so you can get over it. But if it's something like you actually care about, it's like it's not up to you to decide like what opportunities I can and cannot have. This is my life.
Exactly.
I think it
said
shows-
she's selfish.
Yeah, I feel like it shows a lot of insecurity too, because she doesn't
Totally.
want anyone outshining her. And
Totally.
it feels like when you're with someone and you love them, you guys want to grow together. But with Coop, it feels like she wants to be the alpha. She wants to be in charge. She wants to be supported. But it doesn't feel like, I don't know, I keep thinking about her role in these episodes. It doesn't feel like she's reciprocated things with Patience from what we've seen in season 2. It doesn't really feel like she's a support system to Patience.
Right.
But throughout the course of their relationship, everything that I've seen at least has been Patience being very patient, even with how Coop interacts with her mom
Yep.
and getting her mom on board with them being a couple. It just feels like Patience is always in Coop's
pushing her.
mess, even
Yeah.
with the gang violence. She's always just there and trying to support her, push her on the right path, push her in the right direction.
agree.
But I keep thinking, what has Coop done? Like, she loves Patience, but is that love even pure, or is it a little bit selfish?
Yeah, like she's not
Selfish.
showing that love
In
really.
the words of Tina
Yeah.
Turner, what love got to do with it? I'm sorry.
Copyright violation. We don't need that.
I know.
Just saying.
Just kidding. But
Said just kidding.
I don't know, I feel like there were just so many things going on in this episode where even with Coop, it's like we haven't seen this storyline in a long time since season 1, but the whole situation with Tyrone is coming back to get her now, where she walks out of the convenience store, gets her
get out of
little
trouble.
snack, sees Tyrone right there. And keep in mind, for those of you who don't remember Tyrone, in season 1, that was the person that she put in jail. She cooperated with the FBI and they got him. And what doesn't make sense to me is if she went through all of that trouble to kind of be like the rat or the person who helps the FBI do this, you would think that she would get a certain level of immunity and protection from them for doing that. You wouldn't think that he would come out of jail by season 2 and be back there to haunt her.
Yeah.
It's a little crazy, right?
I mean, yeah, we don't know. That was my first thought, too. We don't know what's going to happen yet, but I'm like, she needs to be like the witness protection program or something. Like, people need to be looking after her. No, I completely agree.
How are you going to be in the witness protection program when you want to pursue a career where you're in the center spotlight?
Yeah.
Like, would you change your name and come up with a stage name? Like, what would you do? Would you wear, like, prosthetic makeup and change your face? And
No, what's that boy's name? That's
Tekashi.
Yeah, him. He did. That's exactly why he's gonna be in witness protection, because he still wants to be a rapper when he gets out with his weird behind.
Yeah. I guess the Hannah Montana thing doesn't work for everyone, but
I wish it did.
I don't think Coop can do that. Maybe she can like change up her hair and like wear. I don't know. We don't know yet.
I don't know.
We don't know what
honey.
I mean, she protected like. I'm just forgetting names. What's the guy's name that told her to stop rapping at first?
Yeah.
Preach. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like Preach said in the I guess the little part that shows us what's gonna happen next episode. He said, "I got your back." Like, she knows she's good in the streets for the most part. There's like half on his side, half on her side. So
Don't
I
get me
wouldn't.
to... Oh, sorry.
You said don't what? Don't get beat up.
I was going to say, don't get me to talking about it, because I feel like they're not protecting her because she's in Crenshaw. Like, if it was a different scenario, maybe if she was in Beverly Hills, maybe they would have took more precaution. You know how it's just that, like, that divide between the areas you live in and the actual help that you'll receive.
Totally.
But I don't
Preach
know.
said he got her, though. Y'all didn't see that
Preach.
part?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that there is like this culture of like,
I saw that.
I really do feel like that's just like a normal thing of like, oh, you've helped me in the past, I got you next time. Like, it's just, you know.
No, you didn't see him beating somebody up literally 2 seconds later?
I actually somehow missed that part. I don't know how that happened. I literally missed that one part. Yeah, I'd like to go back and see where that happens because I completely missed it. But anyway, maybe there will be more of that in next week's episode.
It's definitely going to be next week's episode.
Yeah.
Not next
It was
week.
a preview.
Not next
oh, wait,
week. January 20th.
2020.
January
Oh,
20th.
yes.
2020.
This is the
January
fall
2020.
finale
We
before.
have to wait a long time. So this is the mid-season finale,
Right.
which is crazy. So much happens, and I feel like so much more is going to happen from like the behind-the-scenes info we've been getting from our guests who are like, we're not going to tell you, but we kind of know that a lot's going on right now.
We do have someone within this whole debacle coming soon, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, watch out.
That was very specific. Thank you, Sarah.
It's a secret.
That's all she can say for now. Like we're some sort of NDA, I feel
Yep.
like.
I'm always under NDA.
Okay, so another storyline, which is very small, but I think very important, is that Laura and Billy Baker had a little thing happen where
Right.
Laura regrets sleeping with him. She said it was a mistake.
It's messed up.
There's that like little scene where you just see Tay Diggs' face and he's just like, a mistake, what? And it's so dramatic. What were your thoughts?
You guys predicted it. Didn't
I
you?
did.
Someone
I
said
think
there was
we've
no
all-
connection.
We've all predicted everything.
I was like, that was pretty quick, sis, but I didn't.
Yeah, I feel like we've all been, maybe it's just me, but we've all been in like a relationship where you're like, we're breaking up, and then you're like, maybe not, and you like instantly like, that was such a terrible decision, why did I do that? And then you like need to process your feelings. You know what I mean? Like, I think right now she's just like, I have so many feelings, and now you're literally living in the house with me. I can't like think straight without seeing you. I can't separate my feelings without seeing you. And she's just like confused. And when she's in that state of being confused, she just like shuts everything out. You know what I mean? And that's when she just like blocks him out. Is like, nah, I need to go to work. Like, get away from me. Nah. You know?
I still want to know what she does for a living because we never see.
lawyer.
I know, but we never see any
yeah.
of her cases, and I really do
I know,
feel
right?
that
We
in
see
the
it.
future there's going to be some crazy thing that happens with someone that we know, and she's going to be defending the other side. I really
They
feel
need
like
to write that in.
I feel like something crazy is going to happen
see
like that.
that.
They kind of did something like that in season 1, but it never really like
we never
went anywhere.
saw anything though.
Yeah.
we saw bits and
We need,
pieces.
they need to write more about her. They really don't like
Yeah.
Laura.
She's
I don't
the-
know why they don't like her.
I feel like she's the one person that we know the least amount of info
And
about.
patience.
No, we know a little bit. No, we don't
we
know
don't
that
really know
much.
her story.
Yeah.
Patience
either.
seems like a very interesting character as well.
Yeah.
I feel like all the ones that we don't know a lot about are the ones
The
that intrigue me the
backstories.
most.
We need to know their
Yeah.
backstories in order to get a bigger picture. CW,
Sure.
put that in.
Let's talk a little bit about Layla, because Layla has been such a huge part of season 2. I feel like it has been the Layla show for the longest time.
Yes, and I love it.
And then she kind of took a backseat last episode, and now she's back again. And I thought that it was great that her storyline was incorporated. We finally got, that closing reaction that we really needed, where she calls Spencer and she finally tells him, I need help. And he says, that's the first time you've ever admitted that you need help. And it was such a beautiful moment. Did you guys think that something terrible would happen to her this episode? Because I feel like it was kind of teased that she was either going to kill herself or go off a cliff or something bad was going to happen. Did you think something bad would happen to Layla?
No, that would have been too dark. I mean, like, after last week's episode, that would have been too much.
This would be too devastating.
I mean, yeah, just to speak to what happened, I feel like sometimes you gotta hit rock bottom for things to start to turn around, or for you to realize how bad things actually are. And I think she kind of got to that point, and that's why she was able to crawl her way out of the hole and, get help.
That was a crazy scene, though. That
Right.
scene was fire.
I'm not gonna lie, I was like, she's going over. It's over.
Really?
She is, yeah, because she didn't have her her foot on the brake.
No, that was, I was
Yeah,
like,
she was about to go over. I just knew it. I'm glad she didn't, because it would have made an awful next episode. I was like, what are we
crying
gonna do
again.
now? Yeah.
Right.
But
Every episode's going to open up with a funeral.
right, someone else is gonna pass
Oh my
away.
gosh.
That would be dark.
No.
But I'm glad we seen her and Spencer rekindle their connection, even though they're just friends now. I don't see them being
she
just
needs
friends.
to just be friends with someone and get her life together.
That is true. That is true.
Where did that little sportcaster bae go?
She
She just went out of nowhere.
and
That's
her
what he
dad
was
could
like. He
go
was
away.
getting close with her, and then boom, she never came back.
I did not like her for Spencer.
I
She
didn't either.
annoyed
I
me.
want them to get
Because
together.
her dad is always going to be an obstacle
That's true.
Yeah.
to their relationship. I just didn't like that dynamic.
Also, Spencer is so, he's so motivated, he's so passionate, and she is so much the same way. But the way Layla is Layla's so calm and, much more soothing, and I feel like their personalities just, match a little bit more. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? She's just so, in your face, go, go, go.
I feel like I hate not being on the Layla train anymore, because I feel like I was team Layla for the longest time. And then after she just started spiraling out of control, I started losing that. And then I had to check myself.
Out of control.
No, I really had to check myself and say, well, you shouldn't just be in a relationship when the times are good. Obviously, you
Yeah.
should stick through things and help each other even when you're at your low points. I think it was just really difficult because they both were at the lowest they've ever been at the same exact time.
Right.
And I think when that happens, that's kind of a recipe for disaster, heartbreak, breakups. But I'm really glad that they're talking as friends. I just can't stand Layla right now when she's like, we're just friends.
Yeah.
And it's really dramatic.
Yeah.
I think her advice is pretty crappy, but hopefully she'll learn that.
I was I'm itching to talk about her terrible advice.
terrible advice to
Just
Spencer.
block everything out and distract yourself
Girl,
from the pain.
what?
That is not gonna
Look
work.
at where you are.
Yeah.
Spencer shouldn't even be asking her for advice.
Right.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
true.
mean, I think she noticed that. She realized that when she checked herself into the center. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I keep thinking about Layla. I literally was like, so what's next for her? But we'll talk about that in predictions. Okay, so let's talk about what was I gonna say? Wow, I can't believe this is happening right now. Let's talk about the final storyline, which is Spencer quitting football.
my
I never thought this was gonna happen.
He's not quitting.
He can't quit.
That's what the whole show's about.
Show.
Right.
It's based on a true story.
Is the show really about football though, or is it about the lives of these characters and football is the medium to express that story?
It's about football.
Okay.
It's a football show.
It's
All
a football
American.
It's definitely a football show. If he quits, what is he gonna do? Work a part-time job and finish school?
And make his dad proud. What?
What?
He's not quitting.
You're 57. What is that? What is that thing they're ranked on?
Why would you bring that up? Why would you bring that up?
I can't do this anymore, you guys.
Well, he's like the 57th best player in the country, right? Yeah. So at that point, my sports fanatics are looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, you haven't done anything wrong.
This is why we have the two sports experts
Right,
here.
these are our sports experts.
Yes.
We're
Chris and Sierra.
emotional support systems for them
Sierra.
both.
Chris, oh, you should make it like a name.
Yes.
I'm like,
your
why does the
show.
name have to start first? I'm kidding.
But guys, where would the show go? I mean, that is the basis of the show.
No, this is a football show.
Yeah.
Period.
But here's the thing. He said that the reason that he played football was to feel closer to his dad.
Yeah, that's crazy.
true.
But if he wants to feel close to his dad and now his dad is gone, wouldn't he still play football to feel that
Exactly.
close?
I
That's
mean,
why I feel like it's going to come back next.
Like, we just have to remember, all
next
these
month.
kids are literally in high school and they're all trying to find themselves. They don't know who they are. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
his identity is still clearly in his dad, that he's making this huge decision just because his dad passed away. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
he's figuring it all out. He's gonna keep playing football. I'm not even questioning that.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I wonder if it'll take a couple episodes, though.
I hope
Totally.
him and Darnell both keep playing football because Darnell was saying the same thing.
I love Darnell.
Yeah, he's so cute.
How do we feel about Darnell moving in?
I want them.
I want it.
That was cute.
excited.
I
I'm
thought
excited.
before he went off talking about, I'm not going to play, I thought he was going to go play for Crenshaw, which
Yeah.
I think will probably
Yeah.
happen if he comes back, or when he comes back, excuse me.
That would actually be really interesting. And I feel like, do you think it's going to be like Jordan and Darnell head to head? I wonder how that's going to work. It's going to be very
I
interesting
don't know.
dynamic.
They're family now.
Right, but I don't think the guys from Crenshaw is gonna let
Nuh-uh.
Spencer play with them.
It's just like in
he's
the
gonna be-
real world, you can't move around schools like this.
Right.
It doesn't work like this.
Right.
It's so frustrating.
On a final note, I want to know, like, what characters have we not seen from season 1 and season 2 that we want to see more of this season? Because I feel like there have been a lot of characters that have kind of been swept under the rug, whether it's Billy Baker's dad, or
Oh,
just,
yeah.
like, I feel like they're just characters that aren't
No.
being highlighted anymore for whatever reason.
I don't know. That is weird.
Do you feel
That's
like
hard.
certain characters are getting more attention than others?
Well, a
or
lot of people,
yeah.
Logan Knight, Nat Rosen, I say that every time. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Everyone like wants to see more of JJ and more of his character.
Yes,
that would
yes.
be funny. I bet his
Which
family
I
is funny.
agree. Like, yeah, he always has like great comedy beats, like when he was getting his ring and was just like being all goofy and fun.
yeah.
But yeah,
I do love JJ.
I love JJ.
I think he's great.
Good story.
Yeah, come back on our show, JJ. You're just like so much
He's a light.
bright light and energy.
Light.
Okay, so I do want to move on. Do we have any final thoughts about this episode before moving on to MVP?
I just, I need him to find his way. I need Spencer to find his way.
Right.
Because I was
Okay.
upset. Like, quitting football, that makes no sense. I didn't like that at all.
What about Asher and Olivia? Do you feel like they found their way finally?
It's another love story.
Sierra, you didn't
I
really
feel like
like
they're gonna. Okay, I like their storyline. The scene was a little cringy for me, but I like what's happening with them. I think they're going to be the most stress-free relationship that we see. I mean, maybe, who knows what's going to happen, but I feel like they're going to be fine.
The thing with them is I feel like they've had most of their obstacles earlier on before
Yeah.
the season even started, where we were introduced to them when they were both in bad places.
Totally.
And then they both individually grew as people apart from the relationship,
You love
came
to see
back
it.
together after all of that growth,
Yeah.
and now can have a fully functional relationship. So
Now that you say it like that,
I love
man.
You
On
love
that
to see it.
note,
Yeah.
I loved when Asher said, "I'm completely in love with you," and she's like, "Oh, like should I kiss you?"
nice.
And I was like, "Just do it."
Yeah, the
You
scene
don't
was
have
a
to
bit cringe.
corny, a little
Yeah.
bit corny.
Yeah.
It was a little bit teenage drama corny, but I wouldn't want it any other way. That's how I like my romance.
Corny romance?
Yes, I think it's so cute.
I
But on that
cannot.
note, I hope that Spencer and Layla, they do the same. They grow, they figure out who they are, and they can come back to each other and maybe figure out if they want to just be friends or more than friends.
I don't know if I want them back together.
Really?
No.
I don't know if I do
want-
either.
I do.
Is Olivia gonna go in for the kill with Spencer eventually?
Oh,
Ew,
what?
no.
Because
No.
we know
That's
at
her
the very
brother.
beginning.
She's
We
fine.
know
No.
that's not her brother.
Well,
That is not
And
That's what everybody says
It's
until
her
2
bro.
years later you see them together. You're like, oh, he's just my brother. Okay.
Everyone in the chat, y'all are nasty. This is not Game of Thrones. This isn't CW. We're not on HBO.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone in the chat is like obsessed with Asher and Olivia, and Alexandra said that they made her cry in a good way. Logan
wow.
I think said they are adorable together, and he's rooting for them. I think we're all aligned on that. They're cute. They're so cute.
They are my favorite couple out of all the couples in this season and last season. They really are. I genuinely love them. Thank you for that very anticlimactic Chris. I really appreciate it. Anyways, moving on to MVP. Zakiyyah, take it away.
Yes, y'all. You know, every week we come here and we talk about who is our real MVP.
You the real MVP.
Of this season or of this episode. I have to give it up to the entire family, Spencer, Gloria, and Dylan, for inviting Darnell to their home.
Gloria.
Why do I keep doing that? This is like this.
That's all you say.
Dang. So Grace, I don't know why I keep saying that, but I have to give it up to all of them. That was the most genuine thing I've seen. Well, probably not the most genuine thing, but of this episode, that was the most genuine thing I've seen. And I love them, and I hope that would happen. I'm happy it is, and I hope he moves in.
That's fire.
Anybody else?
Sierra.
Oh my god, this is no one like really stood out to me. I think I'm gonna say Layla, just because Layla is Spencer's girlfriend, right? I always
No. Well,
Yes.
not anymore.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
not
I just
anymore.
wanted to make sure it wasn't Olivia, because
Yes.
y'all know I
Yes.
always mix up their names. Yeah, I'm just like really proud of Layla for like having her moment where she was like, I need help, and admitting that, because whenever we've talked about this obviously, but whenever you're in that space, it's really hard to get out of it, and it's really hard to confide in people, even if you know that they love you and that they support you. And I thought that was like a very powerful moment, because she kind of is like, it also shows like a sign of growth and maturity.
Yeah.
And like she wants better for herself, and she's my MVP today.
Yeah, those are two very good MVPs. There's really not any more, to be honest.
Oh, you know what? You know, I feel like you're literally the Grinch of All American, and I love it. I am here for it every single episode. I love it so much.
You know what? I'm gonna give it to Asher's mom. What's her name? Okay, Asher's mom for finally sticking up for herself and getting her son back.
Okay,
That is
yes,
an
that was
MVP
good.
moment. Yes, Asher's mom.
What about you?
Oh God, honestly, I really, I don't know. I feel like this is really, really hard.
It was a difficult one.
There's like no one in this episode. Like when I go down the list and I'm looking over here and there's like Coop, and I'm like, Coop, you got Patience back by singing a mediocre rap song. I wasn't a fan of it. To be honest, I wasn't. And usually I am. Usually I'm a fan of Coop. Every episode I'm like, Coop is great. She always powers through this. She's a great friend to Spencer. But I'm not like really feeling Coop this episode, and I haven't been the last couple episodes, but I really do think her character arc's gonna get better. And then I'm like looking through it and I'm like, Asher, like, yeah, he's great, but he didn't do anything crazy. I feel like Olivia has been a consistent for me, and I'm so tired of just saying Olivia every single time, because I have like an obsession with her.
She's really self-growth.
But I really do love Olivia. I think Olivia is an amazing person. I love that she, set up the crib for Jordan and really like pitches in, and that she was very true and authentic to her feelings in this episode, that she didn't run away from love. I just feel like she's shown a lot of growth and maturity, and I really, really love Olivia. So Olivia has been a consistent MVP for me. Everyone else has kind of been shaky. I usually go for Grace, but this week, Olivia.
Oh, yeah.
There's some good ones.
Now let's get into predictions for next week, because for next month.
Next
Right.
Next
I'm
month.
gonna miss you guys.
2020 is gonna be a crazy year.
I'm ready for 2020.
So we have to wait oh my God, we have to wait until 2020.
That's crazy.
This is insane. For us to get the answers we really need about this entire season.
Yeah.
And I know that they've been filming. There is so much going on. I just want to know what's going on. We tried to get them to talk a bit behind the scenes, and we got like little pieces.
We got nothing.
We did get a spoiler that someone slipped behind the scenes, but we can't.
Oh,
We can't say it.
We'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
we're not gonna say it.
Did you guys? Did we?
Yeah,
We all were here.
We got a spoiler.
I don't remember.
We'll talk about it after. What are your predictions for next year?
My prediction is that Tyrone, we're gonna hear his backstory.
Backstory.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So maybe what happened while he was in jail. Is he actually gonna try to hurt Coop? Or is he just trying to manipulate her and make her do something for him? We're gonna learn some more. That's what I think.
I feel like it would be stupid to kill Coop off because Tyrone is someone that sees people as accessories.
Yeah.
And I feel like he wouldn't get rid of someone without them doing something for him. So I think that's a really, really good prediction.
Also, he's like just getting out of jail. It's like, is he trying to get back in trouble?
Yeah.
True.
He's on
I know.
probation. Well, yeah.
In real life.
He knows friends.
In
right
real
places.
life.
I think that Mrs. and Mr. Baker, we are gonna get answers. Like, we're gonna know what happens when we come back in 2020.
What happened with the cheating scandal?
But what's
or-
the prediction?
Yeah,
though?
we're just gonna get answers.
Duh. What is your prediction?
I don't know how I feel about it, but like, I feel like Mrs. Baker is like, she has all this pent up energy, and it's about to come out again because it hasn't even.
What's
like,
her sign? You've never told me what her sign is. That's the one person that remains a mystery.
A Leo.
I'm like,
know
she
nothing
might
about
be a
these
Scorpio.
Really?
You say everybody's a Scorpio.
I don't think so. I feel like she's a Leo Virgo cusp. But we'll talk
She
about it.
reminds me of an Aries.
I can
She
see her
reminds
being a
me of
Leo.
me.
I get Leos and Scorpios confused a lot.
Yeah, I really like her. I
You
like
guys
Laura.
I'm a
are
Leo.
Aries?
No,
yeah,
she's not
I don't
Aries.
think so. I don't think
No.
she's an Aries.
She's an Aquarius. I love that.
Aquarius, Leo rising, I could buy.
Chris, predictions for next year.
Predictions.
I feel like you've been pretty spot on. You don't come up with any crazy conspiracies like the rest of us.
Nope.
I'm right on to it because my sister's a screenwriter and she's like always in my head. But let's see. I'm gonna say that Spence is gonna play for Crenshaw, and him and Layla are not gonna get back together. Spencer's gonna find another woman, and I want to say those are my two biggest ones because Spencer obviously is not gonna quit. Like, what is life? So those are my predictions 2020. Let's go. Let's see Spencer and Green, baby.
I feel like there's gonna be more than one same-sex couple on the show. I don't think it's just gonna be Coop and Patience. I feel like there's gonna be something with Layla. I don't think she's gonna go for
Who
Spencer
said she's
again.
gonna be gay? You?
I think
I
said
do
if
think
she
there's
was
gonna
still
be
going down.
something.
I thought she was just gonna explore.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it's
just- I just
2020.
don't-
In 2020, we're fluid.
it.
We love everyone.
Do
You can do whatever you want.
You do your thing, sister. Do it, sister.
I don't see her being with Spencer though. But we'll see. And I feel like I have to like learn more about the real life Spencer, and then I'll have all of my predictions set for next year. I need to do some more research and digging into the real life person. Keep in mind, you guys, this is about a true story. So I always forget that when I'm watching the show. I just get sucked into these characters because they do such a great job. So I wonder how much of it is fact and how much of it is fiction, because obviously things are exaggerated for dramatic effect on shows. But keep engaging with us in the chat, you guys. We love that you've been doing that so far. You've been doing a great job, like really getting into it. And we're so excited to see you next year. And in the comments below, tell us what your New Year's resolutions are and what you think is going to happen next year on All American. I feel like that would be fun to see some predictions in the chat. Anyway.
Alexandra says Leo or Capricorn for Laura Baker.
Okay, I
see
actually
Capricorn,
can see
too.
Capricorn for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can get
I
with that.
stand Alexandra.
Yeah,
get with that.
you're right. That
Thank
makes
you,
sense.
Alexandra. We appreciate the astrological input. Astrologenius as we are. Yes.
Ooh, we love to hear it.
Tune in next year. Where can everyone find you, Zakiyyah?
Well, they can find me on Instagram at ZakiyyahW_. Again, that's ZakiyyahW_.
You can find me at Sierra Chanell with 1 N, 2 L's, and I also have a fun little digital series called Not to Make This About Me.
Watch it.
And you can find me on Instagram at the Kris Exclusive.
And I'm Mina. You can find me on Instagram at Mina Makes Magic. Same place for Twitter. And we'll see you all next year. Thanks so much for joining, everybody.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.